Hi, my name is Courtney Sherwood, and I am going to be doing my presentation over technology and safety in the classroom. When you think about technology, it has definitely advanced, and we have so much of it available to us. Um, so what I'm planning on talking about is the different types of technology that we have in our classes and how important it is to have it, but also how to use it appropriately and not take advantage of it, because this is very important for our safety and also our students' safety too. There are a lot of different technologies that are used in the classroom. Some of them are tablets, iPods, desktop computers, and laptops, interactive boards, projectors, smartphones and cell phones, and digital cameras. Tablets and iPods are pretty common in the classroom. Um, some schools, might have all of them available, but not all of them do. And in order for all of students to be able to use those, um, they need to be made available for the students to be able to use. So sometimes a lot of schools, what they will do is they will purchase so many of them. That way they have enough for a classroom to use, and they keep them on a cart. That way they are mobile and the teachers can share them and take turns with them. That way all the students, have the opportunity to use those. Desktop computers and laptops, they're also pretty common in the school. Interactive boards, along with the projectors, um, those are extremely helpful to have in the classroom because with the interactive board, the students can actually go up, and it looks like a whiteboard, and the students can go up and play games that are educational, or they can all just take turns doing different things, and it's nice for them to be able to get up out of their seats, rather than just sitting there all day long. Um, and just participate. It's a great time for the students to be able to do, activities as a group, and it also teaches them to take turns. Um, the smartphones and the cell phones, those are more used, by the high schoolers, the older kiddos. They like to text, on their cell phones. With the smartphones, they can use the apps and do things on those. I don't know if we really use them that much, in the classroom with the teaching process. I don't think the teachers, really teach much on that, but it is something that the students use, and they are using them in the classroom when they are being taught. With digital cameras, um, you take pictures and you can capture pictures of our students, um, you know, of maybe something they made, or maybe they got to go on a field trip or something like that. So we do use digital cameras, and we're able to, download, the pictures we get and print them out and, hang them in our classroom or maybe in the hallway or, in places like that. And parents like to see that kind of stuff too. So all of these are different types of technology that's used in the classroom. This is a picture of just some laptops in a classroom setting. Laptops are extremely handy to have. They don't take up as much space, and also they're pretty mobile. You can move them around or share them with other classes if it's needed. If the school district doesn't have it in the budget to buy, every single student a laptop, it's still great that they can share and be able to use them. And we can use these for our students to be able to get on the internet and navigate around on and things like that. But because of things like this, that's why it is important for us to teach our students, how to do it safely, how to use the technology in a safe way. You don't want them, seeing inappropriate content or, things like that. So it is important that, we are paying attention and keeping an eye on our students while they are using these also. Technology is being used every day by students and teachers in the classroom, and we need to know the safety, legal, and ethical issues that might arise when using technology in our classrooms. Safety, legal, and ethical issues. Some of those could be plagiarizing, going to inappropriate sites, seeing inappropriate images, giving out personal information, and cyberbullying. All of these can create problems, and it's it's just something that is there that we just need to be able to teach our students, about it. That way they're aware of it. So why do we use technology and digital information in the classroom if there are potential dangers that could arise? Is this unethical? Technology can be integrated into the classroom to help change up the learning style. And I think this is great because, like I said, just sitting at your desk all day and, always just having paper and pencil in front of you, that can get really boring for the students. I know I do. I would get bored if that's all I did all day. So I think it's great. Also, students have different learning styles. So, maybe they learn hands-on, and maybe by using the interactive board, that would be a great hands-on experience for them. I mean, you can tell people things and explain it to them, but not all people are that kind of learner. They do need hands-on. So I think it's just good to change up the learning style. This is a picture of the students that are actually using an interactive board, and you can see, that little girl up there. She's actually able to just touch the screen and use it. And if you look at the picture, there's several kids that have their hands up, that are wanting to go up there and participate or maybe answer a question. So I think it's a good way to, get the children's attention. It can have a positive impact on students' abilities to learn better as long as it is used appropriately and not taken for granted. Technology has came a long way, and it is part of our everyday life now. This is why it is important for our students to know how to use it and to have the experience with it. And here I have old school versus new age. You can just see, all the books that are piled up, and then the new age, is the iPad, and how, we can do a lot of research and things like that just on an iPad. It's not quite so many books and things like that. So we're able to actually use our technology, and, iPads are very simple to carry around compared to, a whole bunch of books. A lot of schools are starting to go with digital textbooks and things like that. That way, it is easier for the students to be able to carry things around, and things like that. There are certain subjects that I think that we still need textbooks for, but there are others that, we could use technology to be able to, maybe get to an electronic textbook or things like that. I think it just kind of depends on the subject. Some things we use the internet for is researching. If you have something that you want to teach the students, then you could teach them to, research things on the computer, and that also would get them used to being able to use the computer. Social media is very popular. I don't think you'd use very much social media when it comes to a school setting, but it is something that a lot of people use and you hear about nowadays. Blogging is also something that you could use with your students. Instead of opening up a paper or like a little booklet and having the students write in a journal, you could actually have them get on using the technology available and actually write, on there or at a blogging site, about whatever it is that you want them to write about. So that's kind of handy that they could do that. Also, editing pictures is something else that can be used, over the internet. You can find a site to where you can actually go in and edit your picture. You can also store media online too. So that's great. I was talking about pictures earlier, with the digital cameras. So that's something you could use in your classroom also. Resources, you can find so many resources over the internet. A lot of gaming on the internet. You can find fun games. Like I mentioned earlier with the interactive board, you would use the internet to find some fun games, and you can actually use the board, for all the students to be able to see and participate as a group. Also, emailing is something that, we do every day pretty much on or over the internet. So that's something else that's handy. We can help our students be safe while using the internet by teaching them how to appropriately use it. Some steps to take to help our students avoid common problems that arise. Talk with students and let them know the internet is a world in itself, and there are places you should stay away from, just like there is in the real world. Let students know that the internet can be fun to use, and teachers can keep students safe and keep an eye on them by navigating around as a group rather than letting them individually go to sites. Teachers can also help avoid inappropriate use by watching students closely if they are navigating around individually. So, maybe it is good to give them the opportunity to be able to do it individually, and if so, then I think it's good to keep a close eye on them. That way you do know where they are going. Teachers can put filters on each computer to help filter out inappropriate things they might run across. This helps filter out like adult content and things like that. Students should also be taught how to appropriately use the internet in order to help control problems that could arise due to misuse or lack of knowledge. Each school should have a technology safety plan put in place so that all teachers and administrators are on the same page in regards to technology, safety, and how it should be used appropriately. Copyright and fair use laws are important, and students, teachers, and administrators should be made aware of them so that they are not broken. There are big consequences when they are broken, so it is very important to follow those and know those. Technology in the classroom can be a great resource in helping students learn, but it should never be taken for granted or misused because this is when it can become a problem. If we all work together and support technology in the classroom, our students can have an endless opportunity of learning and can benefit so much from it. Please don't ban students from technology because there are ways to make it work, keep it safe, and also appropriate. So, as you can see, as long as we teach our students about technology, that is the best thing that we can do for them. We should not ban technology from the schools just because it can be unsafe. If they are taught, why it is unsafe and how to go about keeping it safe, then maybe that way we can keep our students safe. Thank you.